Welcome back to Roosevelt Field for second half of Norristown area football, high school football. Norristown was up 28-15 against the Ghost of Abington. Norristown with really a good first half on offense.
Yeah, extremely good. They put up some huge numbers all over the board. Of course, the main guy is Troy Swittenberg. 17 carries. That is a load for a first half. That is a lot of carries, but 128 yards. Troy Swittenberg producing big numbers once again. 2 of those carries went for TDs, one of 19 yards, the other of 9 yards. It's a lot of big yardage per carry for Troy Swittenberg. The other numbers for the Eagles: Darrell Johnson with 3 carries for 6 tough yards. Chris Blake had a 2-yard scramble. And Audley Stewart, as you saw, that big run off the left side, his only carry went for 39 yards. In the air, it was Chris Blake throwing 10 times, completing 4 for 70 yards. Also with 2 TDs and 1 interception. Both of those touchdowns, one to Ernie Terrell and one late in the first half. Late in the first half to Darrell Johnson, both going for 23 yards. I would like to thank Norristown High School football official statistician Garrett Hickman for those statistics.
And folks, just so you know, he made us call him by that title all of halftime. We actually had to call him official NHS football statistician.
I think that's what his shirt says, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
It wraps halfway around his chest because it's so long, but that's what the shirt says.
No problem flaunting what he is. So Norristown with their captains out there in the field right now. We have Chris Blake, Troy Ellis, and Darrell Johnson out there. Well, Norristown really very diversified in the first half, using some guys that, not names that you've really seen in the paper. Like we said, Ernie Terrell, Audley Stewart, and I think it's keeping Abington really on their heels, and they don't really know exactly what they're going to see.
Right, and if every one of those players was coming out of the backfield, it would be difficult enough. You saw Audley Stewart get that 1 carry and huge yardage on a play that Norristown really executes well, that counter to the left side. But then you got Ernie Terrell involved, and not a guy we were expecting to see a whole lot with Trey Hadrick and Damian Solomon, those 2 big wide receivers. But Terrell got that big touchdown catch, split the defense, and Blake zipped it into him. And that's how you build confidence. That's how you build weapons. That's how you build up your offensive arsenal. And then we saw Terrell get a few more plays in that first half. They even looked to him down on the goal line one more time. So Norristown may have found their touchdown maker through the air in Ernie Terrell, but absolutely, Greg, this is what you need to have against such tough defenses in the Suburban 1 National, and that's a lot of guys to go to. If you have 1 or even 2 guys, and that's all you have, boy, teams are going to key on that. These coaches are going to prepare as you get deeper into the season, and you'll just have no chance on offense. But Norristown has shown the ability to sustain drives. They've also shown the ability to strike quickly, and that'll come in handy if they happen to get down in a game in this season.
Well, Abington definitely not out of this game. They'll be kicking off the start to the second half. But like we said earlier, with that late score in the first half, they really did put themselves in position to do something in the second half. Matt Johnson will kick off for them. They're hoping to come out strong. Norristown hoping to kind of put it away here. Johnson will catch it about the 15. Break up field. He's got some room. Darrell Johnson brings it back to the 35. A good return for Darrell Johnson. And really, he's going to have some fun back there because they seem to be kicking to him all night.
Yeah, definitely the stronger side is kicking to that right-hand corner of Norristown. That's what Abington likes to do. Obviously away from Swittenberg, but they do prefer the right corner. And Johnson made a smart return that time to get back to the middle of the field. And Norristown now starts to 35.
Once again, Chris Blake is the quarterback of the offense. On first down, Swittenberg up the middle. He's wrapped up there by number 80 for Abington, Paul Sharp. So Norristown right back to Swittenberg on the first play of the second half. Only got a couple there. It's 2nd and 7 for Norristown. Blake on the keeper. That's a play you don't see from Norristown too often. Chris Blake, not exactly the running back that that some other quarterbacks in this league would be, but a nice run right there.
Yeah, he's not the option, let's say, of that Jeremy Goodwin or Francis Benson is for Abington, but definitely on the keeper. If there's a little bit of room there and a time when Abington's going to key on Troy Swittenberg, Chris Blake can take it for tough yards, and that time he got some yards.
Well, the best high school quarterback I've ever seen do that was Travis Blomgren from CB West, and I don't think there's not a lot of quarterbacks that will ever be as good as he was in that option, in that offense up at CB West. Chris Blake now, after getting the first down on the run, the pitch to Swittenberg on the left side. He's brought down after gaining a couple of yards. So Norristown now have 2nd and 8 from the 47-yard line. Blake now, wide out split in the I formation. Blake the handoff to Swittenberg. Swittenberg to the outside. Tried to make number 33, Mike Carney, miss there. Swittenberg with another first down. So Norristown doing what this was definitely a goal for them coming out of the locker room, trying to get some points on the board on the first drive. Norristown past midfield.
And you know Abington wanted to get that ball back quickly. If they could get it back quickly and put some more points on the board, now they're starting to put a scare into Norristown. Instead, Norristown's coming out, reasserting themselves in the second half.
Blake to Swittenberg, the pitch to the left. He'll break it to the outside. And he's pushed out of bounds, but after a nice gain and another first down for the Norristown Eagles. Really moving the ball right now. Abington got to try and find an answer to stop this Norristown defense, or offense, excuse me. As you see a lot of times with that pitch to the left side and the sweep around, you'll find a holding penalty on one of your linemen.
It's a tough play to block because you're asking your linemen and all your other blockers to get out there and then turn back in to seal some people off so that your back can get out there. Whereas the defense, all they have to do is just run down the line and pursue. And that time, Swittenberg just had to sprint to the outside, outrun his blockers. And unfortunately, somebody got a hold of a jersey. So that's going to push Norristown back some. They'll be enforced from the spot of the hold, so it's going to be 1st and 17.
Norristown back onto their side of midfield. Blake now back to pass, being pursued. Pass out in the flat to Darrell Johnson, and just off of the fingertips. Covered right there by number 33, Mike Carney.
And a good presence by Chris Blake as his jersey was being tugged to throw that out to Darrell Johnson. Actually a pretty good ball. And the first time all night we've seen one of the Norristown pass catchers turn upfield before he caught that ball. And Darrell Johnson had it in a nice position to just let it drop into his hands and turn upfield. But he knew he had some open space and turned a bit too early.
Whoa, something we haven't seen. Abington getting a little bit of pressure on quarterback Chris Blake.
Absolutely. He's really been pressure-free in his 10 attempts in the first half. Leading to some big yardage. Those 70 yards, he's been able to get a good look downfield. And that time, even with somebody tugging his jersey, got off a pretty good throw.
2nd and 17, Blake back to pass again. Out to Johnson. He'll break to the outside. Good block there by Troy Ellis. And Johnson is pushed out of bounds.
Ellis did lock up nicely, but I think his counterpart that time, Jeremy Goodwin, won the battle. Goodwin almost got stood up by Ellis, but held his ground well. And Johnson was looking to go right by them and instead had to go to the outside more. So Goodwin, holding that position in the open field, allowed his teammates to come pursue Johnson and only allow him 5 yards.
So Norristown with 3rd and long. We'll call it 3rd and 12. Blake, quick drop to Hadrick down the sidelines. That's a great throw by Chris Blake to put it up top. And Trey Hadrick just blew by his man, number 25, Jim Johnson.
Nice 32-yard gain by the Eagles, and Trey Hadrick's been getting behind his man all night. From the very first pass Chris Blake tried to throw down the seam, Trey Hadrick's been getting behind his man all night. Trey Hadrick in the first quarter, if you remember, came up limping pretty badly in the end zone after trying to make an acrobatic catch. Right there, showing no ill effects, just blowing by his man down the sideline. Chris Blake, beautiful touch on the 3-step drop.
Norristown showing their signs of quickness, and they said in the preseason that they weren't the biggest team, but they were one of the quickest ones, improving that tonight. It was an illegal substitution, it appears to be, so we're going to be put the Eagles at about the 7-yard line. They'll have 1st and 5. Abington really just helping them farther along into the end zone. Norristown converting on a long 3rd down. Swittenberg, touchdown. Good 7-yard run from Troy Swittenberg. And Norristown comes out and puts points on the board early. The guy that demoralized the ghost of Abington.
That is an impressive 65-yard drive by the Eagles. Certainly it does not look like they were going to need that extra 5 yards Abington gave them down there. Troy Swittenberg could have gone for more on that play, but a beautiful run. Doug White, Troy Ellis really sealed up the right side of that line. It just blew a huge hole. Swittenberg, nice patience to wait for that hole to open up, walked into the end zone.
Now Matt Spicco on to attempt the extra point. It is blocked.
Never got it off the ground.
So he's unsuccessful for the first time tonight. But still, the Norristown Eagles up 34-15. Well, 34-15, not the most conventional of scores in football, but still getting the job done for the Norristown Eagles.
Yeah, don't try and recreate this one or add this one up, but I do recommend you watch the tape because a very exciting game. Back to the big play on that drive, getting about half the yardage, a 32-yard pass from Chris Blake to Trey Hadrick down the right sideline. And Greg, you know, it looks easy. It looks like Chris Blake's just throwing the ball out there. But on that drive, he had a traditional 5-step drop. He had a deep 7-step drop to get a little more room to look. And on that play, it was just a quick 3-step drop and a float timing pattern. So far, we've seen him float them down the sidelines. We've seen him zip balls through 2 people for a touchdown. We've seen him dump balls out to his backs, really doing everything. And the great part about it is Norristown does not have to roll him out, does not have to sprint him out. He is getting such a pocket. His linemen are just, you just don't even notice them because they're doing such a tremendous job tonight.
Probably on the kick. We're going to have a penalty on the play. The Abington returner that time, once again, as all the Abington returners have had tonight, they've had problems trying to catch that ball and bring it upfield. It seems to be doing one too many things at a time.
There's a face mask on Norristown on that play, and that's a big mistake. I mean, all that player is trying to do is get down on the ground without actually diving to the ground. And in this case, the Norristown player looked like he was probably reaching for the ball in there as it was loose. Just got a hold of the face mask. So a little mistake there by Norristown, but 19 points up. You hope it doesn't affect them too much.
And having Abington back behind the 20, Be a lot nicer than having them where they're at right now, and they're at the 30-yard line. And really, once you get over that 20-yard mark, you really start to think that, okay, we can actually drive now. So it's again Francis Benson. Handoffs to John Connor, and he is stuck as he gets around that corner. But a good gain for the Abington Ghosts. Abington trying to counter the Norristown scoring drive. Well, 2nd and 4.
Illegal procedure. Illegal procedure.
That was Benson on the keeper, but we're going to have a flag on the play.
Yeah,
Benson shot up the middle there, Walt.
Yeah, they tried to fake the end around, but the man jumped a little bit early off of this left side, I believe.
Illegal shift.
So they had an illegal shift on Abington as they attempted to get a little bit of movement into their offense, but the movement came a bit too early.
Well, everything Abington seems to be doing tonight, you seem to have the word illegal in front of it. Illegal procedure, illegal shift, illegal substitution. Breaking the law a lot tonight. So I'll move him back 5 yards. Abington back to the 32-yard line.
And that was a well-conceived play with a lot of motion, and you obviously want to mark down on those flankers to make sure that they're not running around the end for big yardage. That opens some room for Francis Benson. So there's a play that Abington's obviously been saving that goes to waste.
Benson on the keeper, and he is stuck in the backfield. Jameel Butler and number 57, Jimmy Davis. Number 45, Terry Powell. Great coverage right there by the Norristown Eagles. The Eagles seem to be picking up on who's getting the ball in that three-man formation.
Well, that's for sure, but when you shoot it into the backfield that quickly like Jameel Butler did, you just have to read who's getting that ball, and you can pretty much make any tackle you want back there. Jameel Butler sneaked in untouched.
3rd and 10, Benson, back to pass, rolling out to that right side. Who the tackler? Appear to have a fumble on the field. The Abington player recovered it. It's very strange. It kind of shot out of there, Walt.
Yeah, Benson sort of just slung the ball underhand just to try and get it out of there. Looks like they're going to mark it right there, so they're going to call that a fumble and not a forward pass.
Now a 4th down, and Abington will be punting. Again, Trey Hadrick back for the Norristown Eagles. Good snap. Another nice punt by the Abington punter. Take a sideways bounce. Good coverage down there by number 8, Dan Mayen. Norristown will start from around the 30-yard line. With 5:13 left to go in the 3rd quarter, Norristown up 34-15, getting the touchdown on the first drive of the 3rd quarter.
And then the defense providing an excellent stand that time. And Abington is really in a hole now because they're going to be faced with some long situations after some incomplete passes, and just the plays that take a long time to develop are not going to work for them. Norristown puts such tremendous pressure on the quarterback when they know it's a passing play. The only passing plays that have worked for Abington tonight have been rollouts, sprint outs, and quick passes out to the flat that don't require a lot of time. When Benson's going to have to drop back there and wait and look, Norristown with great coverage downfield and that tremendous pressure from their front seven is really going to have a field day teeing off on Benson. So Abington has got to stay out of those situations any way they can.
Right now, for Abington. All they can do right now is just stop Norristown. It's about the only thing they can do.
Well, you're putting a lot of pressure on your defense right now. Defense that, although put in some tough situations with Norristown having good field position, has given up 5 touchdowns tonight. So hasn't been real effective so far, and Norristown seemingly getting stronger, especially that offensive line. That's how you grind off the time. But right now, that defense needs to come up big if Abington's going to have a chance to get back in.
And there's still a lot of time left in this football game, but you keep saying there's a lot of time, and all of a sudden you're left with 2 minutes and you're down by 20 points, and you're saying, well, where did all the time go?
And obviously, any more points could really put Abington in a hole they can't climb out of. But this is a key series. If Norristown even takes 5 minutes off this clock, we're now at the beginning of the 4th quarter, and Abington's looking at 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to get back on top. Really not an easy proposition against the Norristown defense the way they've played so far tonight and this season.
Folks, while we have an opportunity, we want to thank the Norristown Area School District, Mr. Tony Koya, Director of Communications, Mr. Sam Galbraith, the Director and Producer tonight, our camera people, Adrian Williams, Amy Gattison, and Jocelyn Hadrick. I'm Greg Fry here with Walt Fry.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to say that, yes, we are brothers, but I promise you all, it did not help me get the job.
I have no comment on that remark. So we're ready for more football here. Norristown starting from the 30-yard line. Blake, the handoff to Swittenberg, around the right side. He's pursued nicely by the Abington players. He didn't get much there. Good pursuit by Abington.
And I'll take Swittenberg in the 100-meter dash, but I'll take John Connor in the decathlon. He has a lot of endurance. He has done everything for Abington tonight. He's caught a touchdown pass. He's everywhere on defense, making all the tackles, especially since from his cornerback spot, he's seeing Norristown players coming at him all night. I mean, Troy Swittenberg and Dow Johnson have been in that defensive secondary of Abington all night, stopped for very little carries of negative yardage. And John Connor is still holding up well.
Second down, Swittenberg stuck by the Abington line. Abington really coming up big, and they're doing what we said they had to do, stopping them here with just under 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that little rest has really helped the Ghosts. They're swarming on the ball right now, and Norristown just going with Swittenberg twice has made it a little easier for Abington to read that play. Swittenberg obviously being the key guy for the Eagles.
So Norristown will have 3rd and 13. Norristown actually converted on many of their 3rd down plays tonight, so see what they have here. Blake drops back to pass, looking up top, looking for Solomon.
Oh, where's the flag?
And it's incomplete. Good effort by Damian Solomon. And Chris Blake just floated that ball out to him, and he almost got it.
But the smart thing Chris Blake does there is throw that ball short. Let your receiver come back to it. You overthrow that ball, you give the defender a chance to run under it. If that ball's short, you let Solomon adjust to it and let him get around that defender, because obviously Damian Solomon knows where that ball is going to be, and the defender does not, at least not as soon as Solomon's going to. So you throw it past the 1st down marker, a good deep pass by Blake, but in a good spot where only Solomon could catch it, and he almost did.
Now 4th down, Trey Hadrick will punt for Norristown. Punt is high up in the air. Here's B. Connor taking that ball. The ball is loose. The Norristown has recovered it. It appeared to be quarterback Chris Blake recovering that ball. Well, throwing the ball and recovering the ball on special teams.
And if this were baseball, we'd say he's helping his own cause, because now Chris Blake's going to go right back on offense and give himself the ball. That just sort of fell into Chris Blake's lap, and you don't expect to see that. John Connors looked very good tonight, doing everything. He came up nicely to catch that ball, actually in a pocket where he had some room to run, and then I think he just lost concentration, because it looked like Norristown was just trying to make the tackle, not trying to strip the ball, and Connor coughed it up.
So Norristown from the 42-yard line on first down gives it to Stewart, and he is hit hard by number 4, Jeremy Goodwin. Started the game at quarterback and now making a good defensive play there.
He's made a couple good defensive plays tonight. He's a very good safety, and they got him out of that quarterback spot so he could just play one way, and he has really shown up tonight. That time was not fooled on the misdirection. Was waiting for Audley Stewart as he got to the other side. That's what you like out of your strong safety. Good run support.
Second down for the Norristown Eagles. Well, 2nd and 14 after a 4-yard loss. Blake calling the play at the line. Quick 3-step drop to Solomon. Solomon with a good effort after the catch. And that's really important, having your receivers fighting after they catch that ball.
Absolutely. Again, a very good throw from Chris Blake. Just zipped it to the outside. You have a receiver who can push a guy back because he's got that deep threat in Damian Solomon. And Norristown has shown that they will throw deep on you. So these Abington defenders, obviously, they don't want to get beat deep. That would pretty much put the game away. So they're going to give a little bit of a cushion, and Damian Solomon can earn that cushion with his speed and playmaking ability. But again, it's very important you have a quarterback who can get that ball out there on that sideline very quickly, not give that defender a time to react. And that allows Damian Solomon then to get some extra yards after the catch because he's got some room to work.
And he got just enough for the first down there, so Norristown moving the ball past midfield. 2:42 left in this third quarter. Blake, the handoff to Swittenberg. He might have gotten one on that play.
And that right side for the Eagles is beginning to close up. That time, number 51, Doug Mowat, from his defensive line position, closed up that hole that's been there most of the night for Troy Swittenberg. So Norristown, 3 times in a row now, I believe, has tried to go off that right side, and things have really closed down.
The line play seems to be equaling out. Norristown not dominating as they were in the first half. Blake now on 2nd and 9. On the option play, Swittenberg not going to get much there. The option play not fooling Abington that time. But something that a little different in the Norristown offense.
And when the off tackle play is blocked up, what you do with a great back like Troy Swittenberg is try and get him outside a little more, and that's what the pitch is designed to do. But that time, Abington quicker to the spot than Norristown was, and once that pitch was there, Troy Swittenberg was staring at 4 white shirts.
Norristown now with a 3rd and 8. Back split in the backfield. Blake looks to his right, goes to his left, has Solomon. That's a great play by the Norristown Eagles. Great play by Chris Blake to fake that, and a great job downfield by Damian Solomon to get himself open and catch that ball.
Wonderful ball handling by Chris Blake. Great patience, had a man bearing down on him, but there it was again, the underthrow to Damian Solomon, and Damian Solomon, great balance out there on that left flank. Really adjusts well, always aware of where he is, where his defender is. That time, that was the play that they tried to do last time. The underthrow with Solomon adjusting, and he had a 5-yard cushion when he caught the ball.
Norristown, always known for having great running backs, pulling something a little different this year with a strong arm of Chris Blake and really making their offense very diverse. So now on 1st down, Swittenberg up the middle. Gets about 3 or 4 yards. Appears to be the last play of the third quarter. Norristown Eagles up 34-15 after 3 quarters of play, and knocking on the door, put even more points on the board.